Hey guys, Jude here. Today is Monday, and I laid the cable out. It's done. Amazon said that the white cable I bought was, I might be misremembering, but it was 100 feet. So I bought 100 feet for the new cable, and it's definitely not 100 feet. Either that or the other one was 150 feet, because there was significantly more of the old cable. Anyway, the new cable is actually way better. Not like significantly better, but I bet if I had a faster internet connection, you would be able to tell more. 91. I don't think I've seen it go this high before, but then it would immediately drop back down. Yeah, the only thing that didn't have that consistency was Google, which stayed at 85, but that's probably because it's just their server. But the latency is consistent. Anyway, because there's not a lot of length on the cable, I might not be able to run it through a conduit or even get it underground. I don't know. There's some slack. It's a pretty, like I said yesterday, it's a pretty like tough. It's not very bendable, so it was all coiled up, and it's still like, you can see that it's still like that kind of, so that's probably some of the length gone, but I did manage to get it to be fine, and it did fit through the window, so that's good. I can show you that. The flat cable went through there, but that doesn't fit with the door, so it goes under now, like the old one did before the flat cable. I forgot she was outside. Anyway, this goes down that, and then comes out up, so it's actually a bit hidden, so you can't see it from here. And then, well, it comes out over here, so it doesn't really matter, because it just... And to make sure the dogs don't get it, it now goes this way, instead of before it went down there. Now it goes over here, and goes under the steps like last time, and around here, except before it went down and then up. Now it's just like that, but that does mean the dogs can't interfere, so it's fine. Anyway, I woke up at 2 today, which sucks, but I knew this would happen. It's kind of what I get for staying up late, so that's why I didn't record this, because I was like, it's gonna get dark soon, and I need to do this today, because there's a storm tomorrow. It's like a winter storm or something. This thing, I never really looked. I looked in all the places that the saw would be, but I never really like looked for it. But that thing, I think I'm just gonna nail it on. So I don't, if to explain what happened, well, to explain with the cable, it got cut or something, which happened to the previous one. So I got new, and that was all that, if you've never seen it in this vlog before. And then there's this, which, because those were all like rotting and stuff, and I didn't want stuff living in the roof, which, funny enough, there was something trying to live in the roof for a while, but it's gone now. Anyway, went to Curtis Lumber, got those. When I measured the length of the old one, it was like 10 and something feet, so I just said 10 feet, because I just forgot that it was longer than 10 feet. I should have said 11. It probably was 11, because I was measuring it by myself, and you know, tape measures, when they get long, they just fall, and so it was kind of annoying. So I'm 2 feet short, but luckily this old piece of the old one is pretty much fine. So I was just like, well, I'll just cut that size and put it on. But realistically, we should just like get a saw and a shovel, because we don't have a shovel that's like for digging dirt, which that's another thing. This dirt, I gotta get this shit out of here. I mean, I don't have to, but you know, with rain and snow melting and stuff, it's just gonna flow back down and pile up around here. That was dirt that was under this deck, because the old pallet rotted out. And so I replaced it, but then I also dug the dirt so I could make it level and like fit it perfectly, and it actually did fit perfectly, so that's cool. Just home improvement shit, and it's probably the extent of the home improvement I'm gonna do to this place, unless I end up living here a really long time. When the heater broke, which I have to get rid of that too, I was looking into getting one that just goes into the wall, but for that I'd have to cut a hole in the wall, and then also I'd have to run a new circuit, because the one I was looking at didn't have its own off switch or anything. And it wasn't like a continuous, the way it was, you could wire it up like this, but it wasn't one that was a continuous circuit where the wire goes through the wall and then into the thing and then back out. It was just like its own circuit, just goes straight to it, and seems like overkill, but like, you know, whatever. Luckily the circuit breaker in there has more slots, and you know what, I could just put the heater right next to the circuit breaker, and I could use the circuit breaker as an on-off switch for it, so that when it's summertime I can turn it off, which it has a temperature dial, but you know, you just don't know, no point in having it on. But then that's an endeavor of like cutting a hole in the wall, and knowing my luck, it's inevitably just gonna be like the wrong size or some shit. And then there's also the floor doesn't have insulation in it, so the floor is always freezing, but also heat escapes, you know. the heaters are on like all the time, but now that that heater broke, I put a radiator in there, so it's not on all the time, like I don't have to hear it all the time, but it's still probably a lot for the electric bill. But there's no insulation under here. There's just this thing. Using the measurements, I went until I think it was Home Depot or Lowe's or something as a calculator. They probably both do, and it was like $300 to buy enough insulation for that. But then the thing is, that's like exposed. You know, well, there's that tarp that tarp. It's like the plastic thing that I just showed you over it. But animals love insulation and they'll love to live in that. So I don't know. I think my mom said something about there's like these hard boards that are like insulation, but I haven't looked beyond that because that's something I could spend $300 on. But first I'd have to get all this shit out from under there to even get under there. There's the TV boxes and my monitor boxes, which those have the monitor stands in them. And I feel like that TV box has something in it, but I don't know. I can get rid of them now. It's just always been like I kept the TV boxes in the event that like, oh, I'd have to move the TV or something, but the manufacturers will send you, I'm pretty sure they'll send you boxes for moving, so I don't think it's really necessary. The only thing is those monitor boxes have the monitor stands in them, and that's like another, piece of plastic that I'll be holding on to, and it's basically junk, and it's easier to just leave it outside and forget about it, but Also, these boxes rot out when they're under here, so that's limited shelf life, I guess. It's just no point in keeping that stuff down there. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. There's also that. I need to get rid of that. When we had that U-Haul, I was thinking of, like, after we're done with bringing stuff to that storage unit, we could load it up with garbage and just take everything to the dump. But I don't really know how that works. If you can just pull up to the dump and be like, well, I mean, you can. But, like, I don't know if, like, there's stuff like, that monitor. Or I was going to get rid of my mattress, but now I'm sleeping on it, so it's like, okay, I will now actually see you guys tomorrow.